All right, here we go. This should be better right here. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Hey Gunpowder. What are you doing, little kitty cat? Are you a good kitty? I wanted to go horizontal, you guys, so I apologize that it's not horizontal. I know that most of you probably prefer that, but for some reason YouTube is being strange. I tried to go horizontally, but it like basically would blur out the screen and say you need to rotate your phone back to its original orientation. And so I started doing it, and I try to go back to horizontal, but every time I do it, instead of the screen rotating with me like it normally would, it just says revert back to original orientation. So they must have some sort of bias against horizontal. See, orientation is locked. I just did it right there, and on my screen it said orientation is locked, rotate device or something. So they are adamant that I go vertical for this video. So sorry, y'all. Hey everybody, how are y'all doing today? I see comments starting to come in, a bunch of hellos. Howdy from Houston, kiddo. Nice, we're from Houston too. I'm sure most of y'all knew that already. We got old Gunpowder, we got old Chia Pet, H-E-G. We got old Daffodilly, we got old Footballs, got the geese, got the pigs, got Hero, old Ziggy. All of our farm friends and family. The Feiners over there, old Pig Trudy, old Robbie somewhere, just hanging out. Did you enjoy Mexico? Yes, it was very fun. We had a blessed trip. It was good. I enjoyed being the banker in the Deal or No Deal game. I think I should replace Howie Mandel as a new Deal or No Deal. Oh wait, he's not the banker, he's the host. There's some dude behind the scenes who's the banker, actually. Maybe I should be that guy. What up, Lester 3? Oh, I get it, because I'm Lester the 3rd. What are you guys up to today? I got a busy day ahead of me. I need to finish my Christmas shopping. Talk about waiting until the last minute, right? But I'm almost done. I got a few more things I need to get, so I'm going to finish that. And other than that, I'm just chilling, hanging out, getting back in the flow of, feeding the animals, spending time with them, picking up where he left off. Yeah, Meg isn't feeling well. She's getting better now, but she hadn't been feeling good at all the past few days. It's okay though. She's strong. My Meg's a fighter. What else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. I don't remember what it was though. Oh yeah, it said you only won $25. It's all right. It's not a big deal. I'm sure I'll get more stuff for Christmas. I'm sure my dad was just teasing me when he said that that's all my Christmas was. When, because he's in the videos he said that the Deal or No Deal is whatever you win's what you get for Christmas. But I'm sure he's just kidding. What is that Montezuma's Revenge? I've heard of that before, but I don't know exactly what it is. Can somebody explain to me what? I understand it's some sort of, is it like if you go to South America and you get sick and when you return it's called Montezuma's Revenge or something? What is it exactly? I hope she didn't get sick in Cancun. I hope not either, but I don't know. You never know. It's certainly plausible, but at the same time, you would expect that more of us would have got sick if it was something in the air. But don't drink the water. That's interesting. That is one thing. Oh my goodness, I actually thought about it, but I didn't correlate two and two together. Actually, I know that my mom told me before we went to Cancun to not drink any water other than bottled water. Don't drink like if they give you a glass or from the tap or whatever, anything like that. And so I just made it a habit to drink only bottled water. But I remember at dinner one night, or maybe I think several times, I think Meg's had glass water. So maybe that's what got her sick. I don't know. That could be what it was. But at the same time, I think I had a few sips of it too. I don't think I drank very much, but I probably had a sip or two of the water from the glass or whatever. When you go to Mexico, so maybe it's that. I don't know. I might need to ask her and see what she thinks. It's possible. But I don't know about the rest of the family. My dad, Jamie, Xander, or Kendra, I don't know if they had any of the tap water either, maybe, and didn't get sick. We'll see. When you go to Mexico, because they have different minerals in their water, our systems don't handle it well. That makes sense. Could be that. explosive diarrhea. Everyone's saying Montezuma's Revenge is diarrhea. Christmas is about Jesus. Amen. That's where the Christ comes in after all. I remember me and Bennett were reading about the origin of Christmas and stuff like that. And Bennett was the first one that ever actually brought it to light. I know December 25th is Jesus' birthday. That's what we're celebrating. And of course, I never want to take away from that. And I'm never going to stop celebrating my Lord and Savior or anything like that. But Bennett pointed out to me that it's interesting. If you read the story in the New Testament, it gets really cold in the Middle East where Jesus was born. And people wouldn't have been out that late at night if it was like during the winter, like we presume it is December 25th. So based on the fact that it gets really cold during the winter over there and that people were out late at night, actually a lot of theologians and stuff, they think that Jesus was probably born actually in the summer, like June, July, April, or May, something like that. I did some reading about it, and it's a good theory. It's definitely plausible. I actually, if I had to bet money, I would bet he probably was born in the summertime, because that makes more sense than him being born in the winter, especially if it was freezing cold out there, like in the manger and stuff. I don't remember the story exactly, but it don't make a difference. He's still my Lord and Savior. It don't matter if he was born in January, February, March, December, November, whatever the case is. I'm still going to celebrate him the same way. Yeah, I read some. It's interesting to read about. You could Google it and stuff like that, and it was interesting. It was interesting stuff. A lot of people agreeing. Technically, it is said it's not his actual birth date, but we celebrate it on the 25th. I always say happy birthday, Jesus, when I first wake on Christmas morning. Yeah, we always want to, remember, exactly like Diana said, the reason for the season. Yes, absolutely. It's funny. I remember how when I was younger, when I was a kid, and even in my teenage years, I just loved receiving and getting gifts. My motto was kind of like, Christmas is all about getting. Everyone knows that and stuff like that. But as I've gotten older, part of it also, I think, is being an adult. And I don't necessarily have as many needs as I probably thought I did when I was a kid. And if I do need anything, I could get it myself. Now that I'm grown, I can buy whatever I really need. But also, I think seeing the smile on people's faces and just, growing up and maturing, I'm sure we've all been there. The point is that I get a real joy out of gifting now, seeing the smile on people's faces. For every Christmas for Meg, I get her a lot of I'm going to say supplementary gifts, a lot of more small scale gifts, but I usually get her one or two really, really big things, like really significant statement makers, as I'll call it. We met in November of 2020, and so about a month before Christmas, and she had told me about her nanny and about hummingbirds, and how hummingbirds carry a special symbolic meaning in her life. So for that Christmas, I got her a hummingbird necklace. And mind you, this was just some random conversation on our first date about hummingbirds. She probably never thought I'd actually remember anything about it. So I think that getting her a hummingbird necklace, something super symbolic and meaningful for her on Christmas, that was like a real statement. I think that, wow, this guy, he listens, or he does love me, or he does really care about me. And then there was another Christmas where she was going through a really hard time with student teaching, with school and stuff like that. And she kind of, wasn't feeling super confident in herself. And I remember that I just wanted to hold her and help her feel better. And she was just saying, sometimes I just don't feel like I'm worth it or whatever. Like I have problems or I have challenges, this and that. Things that we've all felt before. And so for that Christmas, I got her a necklace or a bracelet. I forgot exactly what it was, but I made sure that it specifically said, "You are worth it." And the A-R-E, the R was in all caps. And so I like to get her one or two significant things that's like a statement maker, as I'll call it. And so, Meg always takes care of me too. She always gets me special things and makes sure that I feel really loved and cherished. Is that Hero calling me in the background? I don't know. Where's Hero? Hey, baby. Let's go see what the animals are up to. Hey, fainers. What's up, guys? I don't see Hero anywhere. I need to throw y'all some hay. Y'all look like y'all are going through the last little bit of hay that we threw out. Probably need to throw some more in a little bit. Hey, guys. No pickles. That old Finn right there is a nutcase. Old Finn, he's tough. He's so much smaller than everybody else. He's a little tiny thing, but he thinks he's the biggest goat in the whole pack. He's sitting there running up and headbutting everybody, asserting himself young. Y'all ever met like a kid, like an 8 or 10-year-old who like is trying to be super tough and mature, act all macho and stuff? That's Finn. That's Finn. Oh, man. Hello, Larry. How are you doing today, buddy? What's going on, guys? Hey, Lulu. Chia, aren't they so crazy? Aren't they so crazy, Chia Pet? Those goats, they're so crazy and wild. I know. They're so crazy. All right. Let's see what else is going on around here. What are you guys up to? How's y'all's day going? Hey, Dirty Cat. I feel really bad. Dirty Cat, y'all know, I mean, Meg's made videos about him, how he's kind of, I mean, you just look at him, he's kind of dirty. He's a little bit, to keep it as friendly, as video friendly, and as sensitive as possible. He's done all right here, if you know what I mean. And he kind of does goofy things. I love this guy so very much, but when I was walking, he walked in front of me, and I accidentally stepped on his foot a little bit. I was able to take most of the weight off before I went down fully, but I still stepped on it and hurt his feelings a little bit. And I was like, buddy, I'm so sorry you walked in front of me, though. There's nothing I could have done about that. And he was like, I think he was scared of me. He was avoiding me for a few hours yesterday, but I think he's either forgotten about it or he realizes that it was just a fluke and an accident. That's the last thing I ever would have meant to do. Poor Dirty Cat. Oh, yeah, he has the funniest little meow. Maybe I can get him to do it in a little bit. Safe travels, Dawn. Traveling for Christmas, Minnesota to Seattle. Cool. Make sure you have a safe travel. Oh, Amanda's here. Hey, Amanda, how you doing? LOL, I'm milking a goat as I listen to your live. Haha. Farm chores. Yeah, for those of y'all that don't know, oh, Amanda, she's the one who gifted us with these beautiful fainting goats. There's your Lulu right there. Hey, Lulu. Lulu has a really distinctive little noise she makes. The rest of them sound like ordinary goats, but Lulu, she has like really high pitch. Hey, Lulu. So high pitched. Hi, Lulu. How you doing, baby? Bang! You see, the rest of them sound normal. If you hear off in the distance, it sounds, ordinary. But Lulu's is extraordinary. Hey, Pig Trudy. Hey, little piggy. You're a not so little piggy, actually. You're a big old piggy. Look at those little spikes on your spine. Isn't that so crazy? These big old spikes on your back. Look at all the dust that comes off of her whenever I pat her. That's because she rolls around in the dirt all day. She's all muddy. Look at all that. Crazy, like a smoke show. Look at all that. Exhibit A of why she has all that dang. Oh, she wants me to pet her, I think. Okay, here. Exhibit A of why all that dust is stuck in her fur. Because of her doing stuff like this. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. All right, let me turn this camera back around on myself. Pig Trudy has a mohawk. Yes, she does. Sorry, you don't like that? I was trying to pet her with my foot the way I do for Timmy, but I don't think she likes that, I guess. She's way bigger in person than you think in video. You think so? Amanda has met Pig Trudy twice, so she would know. Think the camera doesn't do her justice? There's an old saying. You would think the opposite. The old saying is that the screen puts on like 10 pounds or something. But maybe it's the opposite. All right. We got a cat using the potty. Clean it up a little bit. Cover it. Cover it a little bit. There's Hero. Hey, baby. Come on, a little bit. Cover it. Good kitty. Good job. Yeah, you better be covering your poops if you're going to come in our house and use the potty and our litter robot. The good boy. My good boy. Hi, Hero. There's nothing in there, buddy. Today wasn't a grain day. Silly goaty. Today's not a grain day. We don't do grain every day. Oh, look at Hero wagging his tail. I made a video the other day about the tail waggers in the pasture. Hero and Finn are the only two that wag their tail. And I felt bad because I was sitting there petting Starla's tail. And I was like, oh, Starla's not a tail wagger, I guess. Come on, Starla, wag that tail. And my dad was like, Ellie, Starla had an injury. She can't wag her tail. She has no ligaments, no nerves in her lower back area because a donkey hurt her. And I was like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot. Because he's right, that did happen. Poor Starla. I'm sitting there trying to make her use a body part that doesn't even work for her. There she is right there, actually. Turn this around. Starla, I'm sorry, baby. I just forgot. You know what? You can forgive me. I can't remember everything. I don't remember every little thing. So I'm sorry. Yeah, that tail ain't going anywhere. Yeah, Starla had a little bit of the runs, but we've been treating her. She's been getting better. I'm not sure if it's because when they came over here, sorry, my phone gave me a low battery notification. I'm glad you were live streaming, Ellie. Thank you. I'm not sure if it's because her and Finn, when they came over here, the parasites that were in the ground might still be there a little bit. And so our goats have already been treated and fought it off. But maybe Starla and Finn didn't have the same immunities to it. And so they might have developed something. But Starla never got sick or anything. She never seemed lethargic or down. She just had a little bit of the runs, as you saw. But we've been treating her and she's doing better. She's active. She's fine. Oh, Ziggy. Hey, bud. He camouflages really good. Y'all probably didn't even see him there from a distance. Are you okay, buddy? Are you sleeping? What's he doing? Hey, it's okay. Were you sleeping, Ziggy? Were you sleeping, little bird? I fed him like an hour ago. He must be tired. Sometimes I know that at least for me, in school they taught me when I get a good meal in my belly, when I ate lunch, you can kind of make your body internally warm up a little bit, make you tired. That's why in school, my teachers always hated fifth period the most, because after fourth period we had lunch. And so we said all the kids would come back from lunch in between fourth and fifth period all sluggish and lethargic, not willing to learn, not attentive. Half the kids falling asleep, looking like their eyes are halfway shut. They hated fifth period. And he was a science teacher too, so science teachers, know all that stuff about the human body and whatnot. Starla had Montezuma's revenge too. Yeah, I guess she did. I guess so. Can you give Cornholio some flip-flops or slides for Christmas? I could. Me and Cornholio kind of had a bad day today, me and him. Been going at it. So I got a funny video I'm going to show y'all tomorrow. Basically, I was playing Xbox. I was in the house. It was kind of like in this room right here. You can see, I could see through the window and whatnot. And I looked out and I seen, but it was the window on the other side of the house. So right here, basically where this room's at, on the other side of this wall. And I was looking out over there because I heard a bunch of loud noise. And I saw Bree, Uncle Dan, and Laramie. And they were Cornholio had wandered all the way over there to their house. And he was scaring the dogs. Daisy, Feather, Punk, and the other dog, Gunner, I guess, whoever the other dogs they have are. And Bree and Laramie were scared of Cornholio. They were sitting there Bree was like, Laramie, get him out of here. Laramie's like, what do? I don't know what to do. Laramie would try to reach down and Cornholio would peck at him and he'd flinched back really fast. Uncle Dan was trying to keep the dogs away from Cornholio. Cornholio went over there causing some serious trouble, man. So I was like, oh goodness. So I just, I went over there and I showed them that, guys, you can just pick up Cornholio and you can kind of carry him wherever you need to carry him. I went on the side-by-side, so I picked him up and I put him on the side-by-side. And Laramie was like, dang, I could have picked him up this whole time. That was easy. It was a silly little thing. I didn't get a video of it, but if we have security cameras around here, and so I definitely have a camera that would be able to cover the area where all that happened. And so in a little bit, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to go see the footage to see why he would have went over there in the first place, and then I'm going to try to compile the funny moments of me bringing Cornholio back home for y'all. I think it'll be a funny little moment. Yeah, old Cornholio. He's not loving, all right. Not at all. I adore Corny. Please be loving. Yeah, he needs some serious work. They should have picked him up and burped him. Everybody's scared of Cornholio. They wouldn't have done that. I guess I get why. Like Dixie Chuck I wouldn't have picked up Dixie Chuck, the Pawpaw's old turkey, who was born here, actually. Dixie Chuck, or wasn't born here. My dad and Jamie got him for here originally. There were 3 little chicks that they had wanted to get for Cornholio because he didn't have any ladies at the time. This is back in 2020, 2021, long time ago. And turkeys are hermaphrodites. They can change sex or change gender mid-life. And then also some of them, if they are a certain sex, they'll appear like they're the other. So it's not always 100% knowing whether they're male or female. And anyways, this one chick started turning more and more into a dude, started attacking Cornholio, and they were called the Dixie Chicks at first. And I remember Jamie made a joke saying that, like, well, they were the Dixie Chicks, but this one's the Dixie Chuck, because he's turning into a dude, all right, growing a big old snoot and waddle, getting talons and stuff like that. So I don't know how it happened, but that one chick became Dixie Chuck, and so he was bullying Cornholio, so we took him to Pawpaw's house. And that was a mean turkey. Like, you think Cornholio's bad. Cornholio doesn't even hold up a candle to this Dixie Chuck. So Dixie Chuck is one that I wouldn't want to pick up. Because I get how a turkey could look intimidating, but it's because I know that Cornholio, if I bend down to pick him up, he's not going to fly up and jump and flat me in the face. Rocky, on the other hand, Rocky would jump and flat me in the face. So I wouldn't pick Rocky up. So I'm guessing that other people that are scared of Cornholio, they think he would do something like what Dixie Chuck or Rocky would do. So I could see it. Because they're not used to him, and I'm a little more used to him. I know he wouldn't jump and flat me in the face. He's also a lot bigger, which could be scarier, but bigger also kind of means they're a little less mobile. It's a lot of weight for him. If he wanted to jump and flat me in the face, it'd be a lot of weight for him to carry and to fly up. Those other lightweight turkeys and birds, they can fly a lot more effortlessly without exerting all their energy. Yeah, those turkeys, though, are strange, the way that they can change sex and whatnot. I was reading a Reddit post because I was trying to understand the whole turkey hermaphrodite thing, and there was this forum I got into, and there was a guy, a hunter. People will hunt animals in the wild, obviously, everyone knows that. And when you do turkey hunting, the common thing they do is they only shoot the males, the adult males. They're not going to hunt a female or a baby. And the telltale signs you look for to make sure a turkey in the wild is male, adult, is, big old talons, a snoot, the waddle, and all those different features that only adult males have. And he's seen this turkey out there. It had all the right features. So he's like, okay, that's a male. He went ahead and aimed down his sights, took his shot, and he hit it. And then when he went over there to, get the body, clean it out or whatever, he found eggs inside of it. He found eggs inside of this seemingly male turkey. And he was like, oh my goodness, I just shot a female. Like, what just happened? And ever since I read that, I realized that, gosh, you never know at all really what gender those things are. It's crazy stuff. Love you, but hate hunting. Night, night, all. Well, I don't hunt. I was just telling a story about something hunting related I seen on Reddit. Yeah, I'm not a hunter. I don't think with the sanctuary life that I could be a hunter. Maybe, I don't know. I hope I would never have to, obviously, in some sort of apocalyptic situation or something where, you have to hunt to survive. There's no other way to get food. There's anarchy in the streets, looting in the grocery stores and stuff like that. Maybe you would have to hunt or you would have to eat animals. Maybe then I would have to do it. I can't believe in the old days they used to do it like crazy. Like, like even in the Bible, in the beginning, they would sacrifice animals to God at the altar and whatnot, and hunting and eating, their sheep and their goats and stuff like that. That was their source of food. And so I couldn't imagine living in that time. It's so different than it is nowadays. If you hunt responsibly and use the meat responsibly, you need it, your family will eat it, then there's nothing wrong with it. Responsible and legal. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just kind of like because we have our animals and it's so like personable, I guess. It's hard to picture myself doing it. There's no shame in it for people who do, especially if they need it to survive. I know a lot of people, I've met people who are in a tough financial situation. They're in tough predicaments and whatnot, and it's actually cheaper for them to be self-sufficient, in other words, eat their animals, than it is for them to go through traditional grocery store means and stuff like that. And so they're not bad people. They don't hate animals. They're just trying to feed their children. They're trying to provide for their family. And so I could never knock on somebody for something like that. But no, hunting and stuff like that has always been a part of human. It's been a part of human history. It's a part of the world. And so even though we run an animal sanctuary and we don't hunt and we love animals, that's something we can't just ignore that. We have to acknowledge that. Probably not the popular thing to say on an animal sanctuary page, but Yeah, no, hunters don't hate animals. I think a lot of people that are averted to hunting probably think that they do, or think that they're awful people or whatnot. But no, hunters are the same people like you and me. They're just, a lot of times, just wanting to provide for their family. And in some cases, I've even read different studies online that hunting is necessary to control the wildlife population. It can get disproportionate or get out of hand. The food chain can get thrown off balance without hunters and stuff like that. I'm not sure how much I believe that part of it, though, because I think about what life was like before humans, and the food chain surely wasn't disrupted when there wasn't any humans on the earth. And that's a whole nother thing in and of itself, is that, the Genesis story of Adam and Eve, science will tell you that, the Big Bang Theory, you start with amoebas and whatnot, bacteria, which then develop into, down the road, Homo sapiens, and then you start getting, different mammalian species, different types of organisms, and then eventually humans come along. But then in the Genesis story, in the beginning, God created Adam and Eve, and then he gave them dominion over the animals. So they seem very contradictory, the ideas. Also, science, biology will tell you that, the Big Bang Theory happened about 14 billion years ago, maybe 8 billion years ago, something like that. But if you look at the biblical narrative, it gives a whole timeline from Adam all the way down to Jesus Christ and then into the present. And so the biblical narrative has the world at about 6,000 years old, which is drastically different. And so me and Meg always debate what that could possibly mean, like how to reconcile the difference. Because, of course, I'll pick Jesus over science any day. But sometimes with especially the Old Testament stories in the Bible, I'm kind of curious how much of it is symbolic versus how much of it is literal. One theory I've seen that kind of makes sense is that some people say that God created the earth with the appearance of age. And so that might sound a little bit confusing, but basically picture like when Adam and Eve are created, it doesn't seem like in Genesis that God created Adam as a little fetus or an infant. It's like usually when we picture God creating Adam, we picture him creating like a 20 or 30-year-old man. And then when he pulled Adam's rib out and then he created Eve, he created probably like a 20 or 30-year-old woman for him. That's usually what I picture in my head, at least. And that's probably what most people picture as well. And so even though Adam and Eve weren't literally 20 or 30 years old, they were only seconds old technically. They had the appearance of a 20 or 30-year-old male or female. And so somebody said that maybe with the earth, it's kind of likewise, where the earth was only seconds old, but it had the scientific appearance of being billions and billions of years old with the carbon dating and whatnot and different things. And so that's kind of, to me, that's the most plausible theory that I can think of. That's how I would reconcile the differences. But there's a lot of different interpretations. I know Meg has even theorized, like, could Adam and Eve have been amoebas? Like, is it symbolic? Like, are they, in the story, is it symbolic for, are they like the original bacteria that God created, which allowed for life on Earth to evolve and develop? And so, I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely confusing stuff that I can't comprehend. We all have our theories, but and I know Meg always jokes and says that when we're in heaven someday, me and the big guy are going to have a lot of conversations. He's going to have to answer all these questions for me. And I always just tell her, like, well, when you meet him, Lovey, you can ask him whatever you want. And we'll finally know the answers to all those confusing questions. The Bible doesn't say how long it took to create man. How long is a day to God? So if we did evolve, God caused it to happen. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's another plausible theory too, is that like it says 7 days in Genesis, but 7 days could be the equivalent of like 7,000 years or 7 million years in God's time. Even in the New Testament, I think Paul references something like that, where for God a day is as 1,000 years, and then 1,000 years is like a day for God, something like that. I don't know. Interesting stuff. Adam and Eve have belly buttons in illustrations. Huh, that's interesting. Because the belly button only happens because of like an umbilical cord, right? Technically, like being attached to the mother when they're in the womb. Trying to read these comments. There's a lot of good insight I'm seeing from you guys. It's hard to read through all of it. I'm trying my best to kind of trying to read through all of them and whatnot. There's a lot of different things. I realize that I make it hard on myself because I talk really fast, and I end up talking about 2 or 3 different subject matters at the same time, and then the comments are a little bit delayed, like it's on a 30-second to 60-second delay, and so I see comments start coming in about 2 or 3 different things that I've been talking about, and I can't even hardly keep track of it myself, so I might be talking a little too fast. What do you think, Chia? My little Ewok. Oh, Chia does look like an Ewok. Y'all ever seen Star Wars before? Y'all watch Star Wars? Doesn't she look just like an Ewok from Endor? Chia, you the little Ewok. You silly little donkey. You silly little Ewok. Hey, Daffodilly, come here. Come here. Come here. Quit fighting your dad. Turn this camera around right quick. Hey, Daffodilly, I know you hate being held because you just want to be free roam. You want to be so wild getting into trouble. But you gotta let me love on you sometimes, at least. You are a fast talker like me. Good to know I'm not the only one, I guess. Ellie, you have your own personal Ewok. Isn't that cool? I was so into Star Wars when I was little, but I always rooted for the Empire and for the Sith. I didn't root for the good guys. And so I probably would have been, my child me would have been upset to know that I would end up having my own Ewok because I didn't like the rebels. But now that I'm an adult and I can look back on my days of love, I still love Star Wars, don't get me wrong. I'm not super into the more recent Star Wars films that have came out or anything like that, but I still keep up with it and whatnot. What I don't like is that I feel like the canon has been thrown off. Like some of the things that are now canonical in Star Wars, it doesn't exactly make sense. Like like Emperor Palpatine coming back to life or not being dead the whole time in Episode 9. It just doesn't make any sense. It almost felt like they added something not plausible to reconcile something previous they did in Episode 7 or 8. And so it's almost like lying. Not that they're lying, but I know that sometimes when a person tells a small white lie, then they have to tell another lie to cover up the previous lie, and then a third lie to cover up the second lie, and next thing you know, it gets out of hand. And so it's not lying, but it's like creating this implausible things to make up for something else that kind of didn't make sense. And then you got to add a third thing that doesn't really correlate or make sense to make the second thing kind of make a little more sense. And so it just kind of gets out of hand. And so the story just stopped making sense to me, the canon of it. And so I don't like that a whole lot, but I still love Star Wars though. I still am into it and whatnot. And so it's cool to have my own little Ewok. Let's not forget that the Bible has been in human hands for thousands of years. That means it's the Word of God, as corrupted by man. That's a whole other discussion, too, about the Bible. Is it infallible? Like, is it perfect? Or is it like, is there some things in it that don't make it infallible? Infallible means that every last little letter of it is perfect and makes complete sense. And so, I don't know, that's a tough one for me, because like in church, they would always tell us the Bible is infallible, that it's perfect and whatnot. But there are things in it that I just couldn't help it. Like there are things in the Bible that seem like contradictions to me. And so it doesn't mean that I don't believe in Jesus. It don't mean that he's not my Lord and Savior. But it just means that there's things in the Bible that I don't quite understand. And to me, there's no way to reconcile certain contradictions. And I mean, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you were reading any other book in the world, or if you were reading any other compilation of stories from different authors, there'd probably be contradictions in it. Like if me and Meg wrote our own version, let's say me and Meg wrote a book about our trip in Mexico, there'd probably be a few things in there that contradict each other because we have different points of view. We remember things differently. It could be the exact same event and it might appear a little bit different. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean one of us is lying. It doesn't mean that it's not true. It just kind of appears a little bit different. And so sometimes with biblical contradictions, I treat it like that. It doesn't mean that it's not true. It's just kind of a slightly different point of view. And to me, it didn't really matter. This is all kind of like fun, food for thought kind of stuff, but I don't lose sleep over it or anything like that. I still pledge allegiance to Jesus forever and always, and I still read the Bible, and I still like the things in it and whatnot, because I don't want to like knock on anybody else's religion or anything like that. But the reason that I'm so strong in my Christian faith is because the miracles I've seen in the things that have been done in this world in Jesus' name, I haven't seen from any other religion. I haven't seen the visions that people have of Jesus coming to them in a dream, people laying hands on others and healing them in Jesus' name, the prophesying. I know my dad has had a crazy experience like that, where somebody prophesied over him in Jesus' name, and videos I've seen on YouTube and whatnot. I've never seen power in any other name, in any other religion. The name of Jesus is the only one that I've seen that carries such power and authority. And so that's the reason that I'm a Christian. And so I'll always be devoted to him forever and always. If you actually study the Bible, there are no contradictions. Well, let me give an example of one that I struggle with right here. I forget exactly the exact verses, but it's in John chapter 3. So in John 3:16, Jesus says that whoever, John 3:16, the most popular verse in the Bible. right? The Catholic Church admitted they took out parts they didn't like. I believe in God and Jesus, just not people. That's fair. But John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever would believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. So basically, whoever believes in Jesus will be saved. That's John 3:16. But in John 3:3, Jesus himself basically says that unless you are born of water and born of spirit, you cannot see the kingdom of heaven. So basically, John 3:3 says that you must be born of the water and the spirit to enter the kingdom of heaven. But John 3:16 says that all you have to do is believe in him to have everlasting life or enter into heaven. And so the only way that that would make sense is if you are born again the moment that you believe in Jesus. But does that make sense? Why that kind of seems like a contradiction? Because not everybody is born of the water or baptized when they believe in Jesus. And no one's been able to reconcile that contradiction for me. I've been baptized, and of course I believe in Jesus, so it doesn't make a difference for me. But if in John 3:3, you must be born of water and spirit to enter heaven, so be baptized and receive the Spirit. But then John 3:16 says all you have to do is believe. It seems like a contradiction to me. It's as simple as that, and there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't make me lose my faith. I still know that his name is the only name that carries such power and authority, but just, it's something that I've always wondered. And so actually, if anybody could reconcile that for me, that would actually be really nice. There's just other little things I've read that I haven't always understood. And maybe I'm misinterpreting it, or maybe there's something more to it, but I'm kind of curious. Because Jesus is the living water and Holy Spirit enters when you are saved. So basically, John 3:3, the part where it says you must be born of water and spirit, is symbolic for, having Jesus in your life. Because I know people that haven't been baptized or anything like that, but they still believe in Jesus, so they fulfill John 3:16. I don't know. Anyone want to talk about the animals? Yeah, guys, I'm not biased, or I'm not gonna steer the conversation any which way. I'm down to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Honestly, a lot of people I think are interested in talking about Jesus and about the Bible, so I've been kind of going along with what I'm reading right here. But whatever you guys leave comments about, I'm going to talk about. We've been going 42 minutes, and so I like for the lives to kind of be about what you guys want to talk about. I don't go live a whole lot. I probably should go live more, honestly, but sometimes I get busy, sometimes I get other things going on and whatnot. And so when I want to go live, I kind of like to let you guys lead the conversation and basically interject or give my thoughts about whatever you guys are wanting to talk about. And so, just curious. Interestingly different content. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Of course, I try. Do you and Megan have a video about your trip coming out? No, we, I will say this about the trip. It's like, I think one of the best things about it was us getting to relax and spend time together and just be void of any sort of responsibilities. Meg will tell you herself that the sanctuary lifestyle, sometimes the days are long and slow sometimes with all the work that we got to do, but the weeks go fast, if that makes sense. And so sometimes the grind of it, especially when animals get sick, how mentally debilitating that is, how concerned and worried you are for them, just being out in the hot sun during the summertime, just the days and the weeks pass, and before you even realize it, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just exhausted. I've been going nonstop every single day. I know it seems simple because we're home, and a lot of people have to go to work 5 days of the week. But even though we're home, there's a lot of responsibility and hard work that goes into the animals 7 days a week without ceasing. And so when you're doing it for so long, you become fatigued and exhausted without even realizing it. And then when you get to go on a vacation like we did to Cancun, we're sitting there relaxing and we're like, oh my goodness, this is like I miss the baby so much already, and I love him to death, but this is such peace, and I'm just relaxation. We're just laying here together in this bed. There's no responsibilities, no chores I got to do. I can just relax and get some sleep, and I don't got to worry about my sleep being interrupted or being woken up in the middle of the night. And so it was just that was one of the really nice things about this trip. But the point of that, basically, somebody asked if we videoed any of it, and no, we didn't really video much because it was fun for us to just relax and spend time together, and we video everything when we're here at home. It was nice to, I guess, not have the pressure of having the camera out 24/7, you know. Ellie, I am loving this conversation. You are so interesting. Thank you. I do my best. I don't like to have anything that we can't talk about. If we want to talk about biblical stuff, or we want to talk about animals, maybe we want to talk about football. Oh, I can talk about football. Don't even get me started on that. I want us to be able to talk about whatever it is that we want. That is how it is as a parent. Interrupted sleep, going all the time. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that a lot of parents feel the same way when they get to finally have a date night, or if the kids have a sleepover, or if they have a babysitter or something like that for when they maybe go out of town and go on a vacation. They're like, this is such peace that I didn't even know that I needed, you know? Ellie, I notice when your dad is up to his shenanigans and you are nearby, you never look surprised. You must be used to him. Oh no, my dad can't surprise me anymore. I mean, he's been my dad for 23 years, and so I know pretty much everything there is to know about him. I know what he's capable of and what kind of crazy shenanigans he can pull off in public. I know how carefree he is about what people think of him. He's not afraid to embarrass himself or embarrass the family by doing something silly. So you just kind of accept what he's doing and go along with it. I just kind of sit there and watch him. Nothing he can do surprises me anymore. Are you still going to get the sheep? Yes, I'm still adamant about getting Little Angel. I'm really excited about that. I actually texted his owner a little bit ago, about an hour or two ago, to see how they were doing and see if they were still wanting to proceed with what we had talked about before vacation. For those of y'all that remember, the reason we didn't get Angel before we went out of town was because we want to be able to spend as much time with him, give him the most undivided attention possible. It'd be kind of sucky if we brought him over here, we start loving him for 3 or 4 days, and when he's finally getting used to his surroundings and his new animal friends, we're gone for a week or so. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that'd be kind of sucky. So we decided to wait till we got back, which is now. So I reckon it'll be happening soon. Is your Kansas City Chiefs going to the playoffs? Oh yeah, they're 9-5. The Chiefs are so good that them having 9 wins and 5 losses feels catastrophic. There's teams out there that have more losses than wins, teams that, are 3-4, 3-10, or like 2-11 and stuff like that. And for the Chiefs to be 9-5 and everyone to think that the sky is falling because they've lost a few games, that's outrageous. It's because we've set the bar so high. We're usually 13-4 or 14-2 or something like that. That 5 losses feels like a lot, but we'll be fine. Chiefs will be fine. What are the temps at, Ellie? I'm at 27 degrees. I'm out here in a short sleeve t-shirt, so it's not that cold. It's probably feels about 50, 55, right? Maybe 60, actually, probably in the 60s. They can't afford to lose anymore, though. Well, I'd rather us not lose anymore. But sometimes with those losses, I feel like it's a little bit necessary. Sometimes those losses, of course, everyone knows the cliches about how losing builds character, how it makes you more resilient, it makes you come back stronger the next time. But also, there's things that you can learn from a loss, things that are not working good that need to be corrected before the playoffs come around, because the playoffs is when you got to get everything right. You lose one game in the playoffs and you're done. That's the way football works. And so I think about the Chiefs. In 2019, the first year we won the Super Bowl, We started out 6-4. That's even worse than right now. That's 6 wins and 4 losses, and we lost some bad games right there. But those early losses at the beginning of the year, I think, helped us kind of realize what wasn't working and get things back on the right track. Because after starting 6-4, we finished the regular season 12-4, and then won our 3 playoff games and won the Super Bowl. So 15-4 in total. The next year in 2020, we only lost 1 game. We went 14-1. 14-2 technically, because we sat our starters in the final week, but that doesn't really count. So we only lost 1 game the whole season in 2020, and you would think that we would have easily won the Super Bowl that year because we were so dominant, but not having any losses didn't give us really any adversity to overcome, didn't give us anything to learn from. We weren't battle tested, and we got blown out in the Super Bowl by Tom Brady and Tampa Bay. This past year, 2023, kind of average. We lost 3 games, a decent amount, but we didn't dominate everybody. There were some close wins, some games that kind of fortunately went our way, and we won the Super Bowl. So sometimes the losses can be good and they can build character, is what I feel like. Losing makes you less cocky and pay more attention to the little things that can lose you a game or something. Exactly, precisely. That's perfectly said, Crystal Nobody. Why does Jake like awful Green Bay? I don't know. I don't know if Jake don't really watch football anymore. We don't really throw it in the yard anymore. I know Jake has a lot of stuff going on in his life. He's with Lissa now, and they do a lot of things. He's been into flying, his planes and whatnot, doing YouTube videos, and he has his own farm over there. He has a lot more animals, so Jake has responsibilities. If I'm being honest, I think football is probably the last thing on his mind. But back when we used to be really into football together, he liked Aaron Rodgers. So he wasn't really a Green Bay Packers fan as much as he was an Aaron Rodgers fan. Even for myself, hey, Green Bay isn't awful. I didn't say that. It was somebody else that said it. I'm repeating what she said. I don't think Green Bay is awful. I actually happen to like the Packers uniforms, especially their throwback ones. And the Packers have one of the greatest lineages of any football team. They've won championships in the 1930s. They won multiple in the 50s and the 60s. They've won 4 Super Bowls. So I respect the Green Bay Packers legacy. I'm not dogging on them at all. But, oh yeah, Don Hutson, one of my favorite football players. He played in the 1930s. It's crazy that I would even know somebody like that. I was showing my dad some clips of some players from the 1930s and the 20s, showing them, wondering if, like, hey, you think Bronco Nagurski and whatnot, saying, hey, you think these guys could make it in today's NFL? And my dad was like, Ellie, come on, that's a joke. That's a joke what you're showing me, Ellie. He don't even have a face mask. He's a little tiny leather helmet that looks like a beanie. He's never taken a real hit from a big, strong man like people in today's NFL. And so it's fun. I can always tease my dad showing him old 1930s football footage, and he makes fun of me for it. I am proud of Jake with his flying. For a little while, I thought he gave up on it. I am so proud he didn't. Yeah, I'm proud of him too. If he's doing something that he loves and he's in try to make the world a better place, try to shine his light and keep people safe, then I'm proud of him and I support him in what he wants to do. But kind of like he's an Aaron Rodgers fan, I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan. If Patrick Mahomes went to the Raiders tomorrow, I'd become a Raiders fan, basically. And so me supporting the Chiefs is by association for Patrick Mahomes. Asking again, will you continue going to school? I'm sure at some point I will. I'm not in it right now, though, basically. There's other more important priorities at this given moment, today and tomorrow, the immediate future, I feel like. Favre was a legend. Oh yeah, Uncle Dan, Jake's dad, loved Brett Favre. So that's probably what so Jake is probably a second generation Packers fan, honestly. The video of your championship back in the day with Jake as the mascot was great. Oh yeah. That was in KFL in Little League football. I was 11 years old, and our Little League team made it to our Super Bowl, and we were the Chargers. And so my dad took me to the game, and he had Jake dressed up in a big old chicken costume come with us, and Jake was our team mascot. Jake was heckling the other team. Some of the other kids were trying to push him on the ground from the Texans, the other team we were going against. That video's on my dad's YouTube on the I'm a Survivor page. I don't know how you would find it, because it's like obviously 12 years ago, so you'd have to look up like Ellie Morrow Super Bowl football or something like that. I'm sure if you look up the right keywords, it'll come up. YouTube's really good about it. If you don't know the exact title of a video, just type in some keywords and it'll help you find it pretty good. I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, Super Bowl, Ellie, I don't know, something like that. Oh no, BRB, my shark is going to go soon, and I have to pick up the cat toy so it doesn't eat them and get a tummy ache. My shark? Is that a typo? I don't... We'll see you in a little bit, Crystal Nobody. I don't understand exactly what you're trying to say, but we'll see you in a bit. My shark's going to go soon. I don't know. I started at the beginning of your dad's videos and watched them all. I guess I have no life, LOL. I mean, I don't know. That's subjective, the whole no life or whatnot, because some people would say that a person who goes out to the bar every Friday night and parties and gets drunk and stuff like that and sleeps around, they have an incredible life, and somebody who sits at home and watches videos or plays Xbox has no life. But if you ask me, I think so much higher of somebody who is keeping their mind fresh by, learning. If staying at home keeps them out of trouble, if they're not hurting others, if they're not getting into violence, not getting into bar fights, not hurting other women and stuff like that, taking advantage of them and whatnot, then I have the utmost respect for the Xbox gamer at home, or the person sitting at home watching YouTube videos, enlightening their mind, as opposed to the bar hopper. So, that whole who has the no life or has a life thing is subjective to me. We can all shine our light in different ways. People who are at home can even shine their light in sending a Facebook message to check on somebody who hasn't been checked on in a while. You never know who needs to be checked in on or who needs to be told that they're loved and whatnot, because life goes so fast and people have hard times sometimes. Think about it. Your stereotypical person who works 60, 70, 80 hours a week, or who's maybe too obsessed with their job, or maybe somebody who is a bar hopper or somebody who gets into trouble. A lot of those people don't have the time to check in on somebody. Okay, let me rephrase. Let me take that back. There's probably some of you that work 60, 70, or 80 hours a week, and so that wasn't a dig at y'all. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I just know a lot of people that are trying to grind. They're trying to become super rich and wealthy and famous and whatnot. That's kind of what I meant, as people who are workaholics and who are devoted to, serving themselves, making themselves as rich and as famous as possible. I definitely wasn't referring to... There's a lot of people out there I know who work 60 to 70 hours a week at a retirement home, or who maybe they're volunteering at the food bank or at a homeless shelter or something. Those people, you bet they're busting their butts, but they're not like workaholics for themselves. They're serving others. They're making the world a better place. They're shining their light. I think y'all get what I meant. I meant self-serving people, essentially. But I don't want to be a hypocrite then, because I think to myself, well, we're all self-serving in a way, because we all do things that we want to do. I don't know. I think I'm rambling now. Are there any kitties near you on the porch? We got our little Chia right here. We got two kitties messing around over there. Daffodil and I think that's Dirty Cat. We got a little bit right here. We got Gunpowder. Come on, Gunpowder. That's Gunpowder over there. So we got a few kitty cats around. All right, my phone's at 6%. It's about to die pretty soon, you guys. It's about to run out of battery, so I need to probably wrap this live up. I don't want to get cut off mid-sentence in the middle of talking about something. It's called a money grabber, something like that, I suppose. That was close. I almost had my cat's fuzzball sucked up, and Mickey wouldn't forgive me for that. Oh, I hope everything's okay. Hope that they're all fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I enjoyed this live with y'all. We talked about a wide variety of things. We talked about the animals. We talked about Mexico. We talked about the Bible, about Jesus, about science, about evolution, about football, about Christmas coming up, about the kitty cats, about Chia Pet, about old Ziggy, about the new sheep that we should be getting soon, about my beautiful fiance getting her rest, trying to feel better. We appreciate all y'all's prayers and love and support. We love you guys so very much. We appreciate y'all. I will catch y'all. Maybe I'll go live again sometime soon. Maybe I'll try to go live more often. I think y'all would like that. I think I would like that too, because it was fun talking about these things. But all right, guys, y'all have an incredibly blessed night. And as I always say, your boy Ellie out.